Alright, so the Kickstarter is up.
I'm jacked! I'm jacked to the tats!
Okay, so in this video I'm just gonna go quickly over everything in it. Not gonna delve too much into any details. So let's begin. So first of all, obviously it has Prelude 2. Now there are some tiny spoilers here. I'll talk about this one later because you can actually read it well in the rulebook. But you have a corporation here. It starts, I think, with 33 and one energy plant and steel production. I can't make out the name, but it has 3 tags. Energy not that useful, but maybe that'll change with this expansion, hopefully. Not sure what to make of it yet. I'll discuss in more detail when I get the full picture. I think this Colony Venus cards, it requires 2 Venus tags, has a Venus in space, and I think it gives you a rebate every time you trade, which is really nice. That hadn't been done before. It also has a victory point. I like that a lot. Then there's a floater card, and here's a science card that also has to do with, it gives you 2 per colony. I think it's only your colonies, and it lets you, who knows. Then there's this Prelude. I really like this Prelude. It's a Venus tag, 2 cards with floaters, and you can terraform oxygen, temperature, or Venus. This is probably going to be Venus most of the time, and this is going to be a great Prelude to pick up with either Celestic or MSI. Like 2 Venus steps for free, and 2 floater cards would be really good. I think those 2 corps desperately needed some Preludes. Now I know there's a fuzzy image with more spoilers. I'm not really gonna talk about until I see the full, I know exactly what each corporation and each Prelude does, or each card. So yeah, just those quick things here. Then moving on to Milestones and Awards. Okay, so I confirmed, so there's 35 of each. Now there's 6 known maps, so there's the 3 base. Well, the base, Tarsis Elysium, and then you have the Utopia, Borealis, and the other one, I don't remember the names. And so you can see here, this is Hellas. I think this is Elysium, but I'm hoping this is a print error, because this one should be Specialist. And you can see Tarsis back here. These 3 I confirmed are the 3 fan-made ones, which means this one here, which would be all of the awards that are here, is the Amazon new map, which we'll get into, but it's a really big map. And it's nice that it has some, it has a colonies themed award and a turmoil themed award. But yeah, with 35 it's basically 5 per map, and the only 5 new ones would be the one in Amazoni's Planitia. You can see a description of every milestone and award on the rulebook. I'm not gonna get into that today. I'll probably do like a full milestone and award analysis, like the ones I have in my playlist up there, for Tarsis, Hellas, and Elysium, and then go over each one then. Okay. After that, Automa. I'm not sure I'm gonna buy Automa, so I haven't pledged yet. I have to decide, but I'm basically gonna read the rulebook. I'll make a video about it. In that way, maybe I can help someone else make the decision, because I'm not convinced the AI, or whatever you want to call it, will be fun or competitive enough to play solo. So yeah, I'll do a video on that later. That's all I'll do for now. Okay, then we go into the maps. So they are all neoprene. I saw a lot of comments both on Reddit and the Board Game Geek forums asking for cardboard maps, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get them. I've never played on neoprene. I think it's weird. I like my cardboard board games. But I mean, it's nice to get the maps. If you don't want this, you can buy the cardboard ones in Price Games website. They don't have the Amazoni's Planitia, which I'll get into right now, what it is. It also comes with a nice box to store them, 1 for each, and this is nice because I'm pretty sure this wouldn't fit in the big box. I don't have the big box. I didn't think it was worth the money. So Amazoni's Planitia, really interesting. So this is just a big map. It's not quite Mega Terraforming Mars, but Yeah, as you can see, so the middle, the equator in each of the other maps has 9 tiles. The equator on this one has 11, which means it's adding 2 tiles, sorry, 2 rows of tiles on each dimension, basically. So it's a really big map, and also it'll come with some tiles because you'll have more space, and the parameters are bigger, so we have 2 more oceans. I believe it's 4 more oxygen steps. I think this is 18, with the temperature reward coming on 11. And I think I counted the temperature, I think it's 6 more steps, but I'm not sure. So that would be like plus 20. There's also an extra reward on this track, a card, like Venus. And I'm guessing this is a planned production here. But yeah, I think it's 6 more steps on the temperature, 4 on the oxygen, and 2 more oceans. And that would make sense in terms of proportions. Okay, what's next? Okay, the rules. I did check the Prelude rules. So I'm not gonna get into the Automa because I'll do a full video for that. But I did check the Prelude ones. I have them here. And there's basically no new rules. There's just basically Preludes with actions, and I'll get into this Prelude. It tells you to put the required expansions in, that feels obvious. And it adds this rule. Now, we already knew about this rule when they released the 2022 Prelude promos. They made this rule that if you choose a Prelude like Merger or Ecology Experts, and then for some reason you can't play your Prelude or pay it fully, then you just discard it and get 15. Now, I think this rule is fine. It's a sufficient punishment without taking the player out of the game for their mistake on the first turn. I know some people really don't like this rule, but I think it's a fine solution. So I don't see a problem with it, and I'm glad it's made official on a rule book. But yeah, there's really no other rules. It's just preludes work like preludes, but there is this prelude, and we get a full clear picture of it. And so it's really interesting. Now, this is kind of the thing that I didn't want to see in Prelude 2, which is very unique preludes that sort of like have a more unique feel than the corporation you're playing, and this is extremely unique. And I was hoping the blue preludes would be things more like space discounts or tap to draw a card, things that there's like several cards to do it. So they feel more like the production preludes, like, it's an added help, but it's not like its own game because you're playing this prelude. And so this one does have this feel, however, it's extremely niche. So let's read what it does. It comes with 6 science resources, and you can either remove it to gain 1 standard resource of any kind, or add a resource to any card with a resource. So this, in my opinion, is I think basically for physics complex. Now, I've always wanted a card that can add science resources. The only one that actually does that is CEO's favorite project, I think. Because keep in mind, this is not a standard resource when you add it to a card, it's a resource of any kind. And so, yeah, this is for physics complex, basically. The other 2 cards that use science resources are Olympus Conference, which would require, it would let you draw 3 extra cards, and you'd have to place the science tags after you add the research each turn. So it would be really complicated, and it would all get you 3 extra cards, not worth it. And then Search for Life, which, because you need a resource to be on it already, it would do nothing because Search for Life is a max of 1 reason. You can obviously always use this on any animal or any floater card, probably an animal, because with a 1-point animal this is 6 victory points. Now, is 6 victory points good enough for a prelude? Probably, but would you base your whole strategy from the beginning around it? I mean, 6 victory points for 21, which is the cost of a prelude, is nice. It's bad that you have to invest it early in the game, but it would be nice. It's not terrible, I think. I would don't think I would take it. It does have a wild tech too. And there aren't that many 1-point animals. And I guess it also works with asteroids or security fleet. But the card that I'm really excited to play this with is Physics Complex, because with Physics Complex this is 12 victory points, and in that case it's totally worth it. Like, I know you're not moving your economy early, but who gives a shit? Like, 12 victory points. You only have to get the first resource there, which you will need 6 energy somehow production at some point, but I think that's worth building around if you have Physics Complex in your hand. It does still feel extremely niche that, you know, you have to have Physics Complex in your hand for this to be worth it, or maybe a 1-point animal or security fleet, but it's half the value then. But yeah, interesting Prelude. I would rather see this on a corp because it's very unique, but I am kind of excited to use it. Even if I might never use it, because I might never get it with Physics Complex in the same hand. But let's keep going. So in the Awards and Milestones rulebook, you can read the description for all the awards and milestones. Yep, they're all there. And you can confirm what each is. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll save that for a separate video. And finally we get to the milestones. Now, they'll be doing milestones every day for I think 16 days it lasts. So I'm probably gonna do one video each week at the end of the week on Fridays, going over the spoilers and promos. And so these are the first two from day one. We have a Prelude that gives you plant and steel production, and I think it says game 3 MC, maybe 5 MC here, which reminds me a lot of dome farming, except a little weaker. If it is that, dome farming is 1 plant production and 2 MC. It doesn't give you any extra money, but I'd obviously rather have the flexibility. It does have 1 more tag, so I mean, I think a decent Prelude, but not yeah, kind of something that already exists. And of course this is part of the promo, this is not part of the main set of Preludes. And then we have a corporation. It starts with 42 in an energy production, and you can read the text here, and it basically, I think it's high-tech lab. So you can spend any energy to look at that number of cards and keep 1. That's a really good power to have. I think this will be a better corporation than the 2 energy existing corporations. Although the other one combos really well. The one that's not Thorgate combos really well with High Tech Lab. But yeah, to have this from the beginning is really good. I'm just not sure if you have to pay anything besides the energy to do it, but I doubt it. I think it's just going to be X energy to draw X cards and keep 1. So yeah, I think this will be powerful. And it starts with a science tag, which is good for those big energy producers, mass converter and quantum extractor, and the energy tag, which is not that useful. So yeah, I won't do a daily video obviously, but on Friday I'll probably publish one with all the spoilers up to that date. Okay. So the pledge levels, I'm like really not going to tell you what to do here. It's up to anyone, but they do have a lot of different levels and a lot of different add-ons, so you can, it's not hard to configure like what you want, but pretty much they're all expensive. I think this one's the better priced one, because you have Prelude, the milestones and the promos, but you don't have the cards, the boards or Automa. As you add more stuff, it gets obviously more expensive, and the one that has boards, milestones, and the 2 expansions, the cheapest level is this one, the Red Planet Magnate. So yeah, I might have to go for that one if I like Automa. If not, I might figure out a way to do it without it that's cheaper, and maybe buy the boards of the Fry X Games website. cardboard version, but then I wouldn't have this one, which I really want. So yeah, I mean, everyone can do what they want there. Of course, there's this one that has everything. Now it is a significant increase. It's like $80, and it adds the 3D tiles, which I really don't want to pay for, but it also has the sleeves, which you will need. And then the add-ons. Yeah, you can add on everything here, but like as you can see, each board is $25. So just the 7 boards as an add-on like would be 175. Well, this one's 30 actually, because it has some tiles, I guess. So that would be 180 for all the boards. And then you can also purchase the sleeves separately, but they're quite expensive. Now, one interesting thing that I noticed in the sleeves is that the Prelude 2 has 10 corporation card sleeve, which I think would mean there's 5 promos, and 53 project cards, 37 preludes. So if you remember, they said there were 24 preludes. Yeah, I think it was 24 preludes and 24 projects. So this might be a hint as to the number of promos. They usually send more like than you need, but yeah, these numbers look very precise. Whereas the Automa ones, this looks more like what they sell on their website, which is like more exact numbers. I'm guessing these are the promo preludes and the promo corporations and the promo cards. And then the Marspot Corporation sleeve, which is our Automa thing, basically. Yeah, and then you can buy the promo separately. Now they're also on the FryX website. Just make sure you check that to see which one's cheaper. And yeah, more sleeves, more domes. And yeah, be sure to check out this section because it has the shipping and taxes for each part of the world. Canada is up there. Like the one that I think I'm buying is this, so it's added $50, which brings it pretty close to 200, which is, you know, a lot for the Prelude 2 expansion. But I love this game, so they, you know, just take my money. But yeah, I mean, that is all for my video. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna keep producing content. Regarding this, I'm gonna do the spoilers at the end of the week, and also I'll try to do the Automa expansion, and maybe go over the awards and milestones. But yeah, that's it. See you next time.
I'm jacked to the tits!
Good.
Do you feel it?
No.